Alright guys, welcome back to more P-06. Man, it is going to still throw me off that the loading screens are that fast. But now, last time we met for P-06 specifically, we did Sonic's levels, but now we're doing Shadow's levels, or Shadow's story, since we also do Rouge's version of Tropical Jungle, which was actually kind of worth showing off, because they actually, because I did get myself confused with Tropical Jungle in terms of who could skip through it and who couldn't, because I said that Silver could skip through Tropical Jungle back in the original LP, but I was wrong, because it was Rouge that can, and Chaos X changed it, but I'll get into that when we get to Rouge's version of Tropical Jungle. But for now, we're playing as Shadow. You know, all of his levels are, you know, in terms of design, once again, it's exactly the same. It's just Shadow is now plays much different, much better than he did back in actual 06. So first thing that immediately I noticed in terms of when I first started playing P-06 was Shadow's running animation was completely different compared to 06. In 06, Shadow's running animation was a little more, I don't know how to word it. It was really stiff. Where all he really did was just kind of kick his feet up, and he just perpetually walked forward. Yeah, I got lost track of myself because, you know, I forgot how to turn the camera. And also, Chaos Snap kind of threw me off. Not blaming Chaos Snap, but I'm once again not really used to Chaos Snap working. So yeah, let's actually get into that real quick, because Shadow's upgrades have now changed in terms of how functional they are. For one, they all fucking work now. They work consistently, unlike 06, where it kind of felt like a coin flip on whether or not Chaos Snap was going to work properly. Where when you activate Chaos Snap and you press and hold the A button after a homing attack, Shadow will instantly teleport to any nearby target. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been an enemy, a spring, an item box. It doesn't matter. Shadow was going to teleport to it. In 06, it worked, but there were times where you feel like it didn't work, if that makes sense. But in P-06, they changed it to where it works much better. And then Shadow's second level was where he got an enhancement to his Chaos Spear. I didn't use it much in this demonstration because I don't really use Chaos Spear that often. But Chaos Spear also is much better to use. For one, it actually does damage enemies, and for two, it can target multiple enemies at once rather than just doing one single target. And in the third level, you do activate an enhanced Chaos Blast. And Chaos Blast works so much better than it did back in the main game. Where, for one, Chaos X basically took Shadow the Hedgehog, the game's version of Chaos Blast, and just put it in 06. Right down to the voice line and everything. So, I mean, it wasn't that hard. It's a simple animation. You know, you just take the animation and put it in 06. You know, you probably had to re-rig Shadow's skeleton and maybe change a few things besides that. But, yeah. So now we're actually playing as Rouge, who also got pretty obvious, everyone got a major makeover in terms of what they could do. For one, Rouge can do her combat from Sonic Adventure 2, you know, kicking and all that stuff. But she also still can throw bombs with the circle button, or B button in this case, since I'm using an Xbox controller. She doesn't, and just like Knuckles, Rouge no longer gets stuck on walls whenever she glides and stuff like that. So yeah, Rouge is pretty much the same as she was with Sonic Adventure 2, but she still has her bombs, so... Oh, for some reason I can't glide on this, I can't grab this wall, but it doesn't matter. There it is. I also like the fact that these lines were re-implemented, because these were taken out. Because back in the original, Shadow would just say it's a request from the president, and that's it. That's all. That's all there was to it. There was nothing else, no context whatsoever. That's all Shadow had to say. Now this actually kind of confused me for a little bit, because in 06, you know, in the main game, you did have to destroy the searchlights, but you actually had to use missiles to do so. Here, I guess Chaos X was aware that nobody actually uses the buggy because of how badly it controls. Because I couldn't find it, because it's usually right around this area. So I gave up and just destroyed the searchlights the manual way, you know, using the homing attack trick to get up to the top and destroy the searchlight. And I guess that's what Chaos X meant. I don't know, but I'm not complaining at all, I guess. I mean, from what I've gathered, I thought he would keep. I thought the Doom buggy. I thought the buggy would stay. You know, that is part of Shadow's gameplay, but I guess that was one thing we could do without, because it's not in Crisis City either. Yeah, but look at how fast Chaos Snap works. And unlike 06, the teleporting doesn't, you know, throw the camera off like it used to. But now I think I'm about to show off the second version of... No, here's Chaos Blast. Yep. And that is Shadow's version of Chaos. That's the new version of Chaos Blast. So this is actually a new upgrade that Chaos X added to Shadow's arsenal. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but basically that's back in Shadow's story in the final scene. I don't show it off much there. That is one downside to it, is that if you run out of meter, it instantly kicks you out, and Shadow's stuck in that animation for a few seconds. So that could throw you off, or, you know, kill your pacing. So be mindful of that. But that state is basically the state that Shadow entered at the end of his story. When he was fighting Mephiles and like all those millions of copies showed up, and Shadow took off the top 2 inhibitor rings. Well, yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. Shadow's taking off his inhibitor rings, at least the ones on his wrist, and entering a powered up mode for a little bit. But in that mode, it's kind of like a pseudo super state for Shadow. You know, Sonic got supersonic with the gems, but now Shadow got his own, where he kills every enemy in one hit. He is completely invincible, except besides bombless pits, and I believe, and he has access to all of his chaos abilities, and they're all enhanced. So yeah. So if you need to activate that, you do need to be first off in the third state of Shadows' chaos power. So you need to have Shadows' whatchamacallit. You do need to have Shadows' meter filled up 3 times, and you need to be in Chaos Blast for it. And then you see the second meter under Shadows' gauge. I think it's called the maturity meter, where if that's full, press up on the D-pad and then press the right trigger, and Shadow can enter that state. You don't need 50 rings or anything like that. You just need the meter to be filled up. Oh yeah, and the hang glider sections, you actually have to put effort into them now. Not a lot, but you do need to put effort into the hang gliding sections, because back in the main game, Shadow, you could literally just sit there and watch Shadow just glide through the air without a care in the world and get hit by literally everything. But nope, they changed that. So now we're playing as Rouge once again, but this time we're doing that Find the Three Keys section in Kingdom Valley, where you may have noticed something changed. So Rouge can now do her, so in P-06, Rouge actually has a radar for the damn keys, and along with that, the keys are in random locations. Yes, that actually means that that this section actually works in terms of what it was meant to be. The keys are no longer in set random locations, like back in '06, and the radar actually works kind of like Sonic Adventure 1's radar, not 2's, where 2 had radar, but it was, you could only look for the emerald that they wanted you to find, or more accurately, you could find the other emeralds, but you wouldn't be able, your radar wouldn't go off until after, until after you found the one the game wanted you to find. But in Adventure, you can find any emerald you want, or in this case, key. Rouge is, I think, Rouge is the only one that has treasure hunting sections in 06, actually. Knuckles doesn't do that at all, which is kind of weird. I kind of find that funny. Unless he does it in the Team Attack Amigo, but I never played Team Attack Amigo, so I have no idea. Mainly because the PS3 version doesn't have access to it. Yeah, Sonic 06 does have DLC, but the Team Attack Amigo is Xbox exclusive. I don't know if anyone wants to brag that Xbox has more content than for Sonic 06, but it is there. Oh, and you do get points based on how fast you track the keys, similar to Adventure 2. But we're going to continue on with Shadow. Yeah, that was actually a relatively harmless section. But so to my knowledge, I think the only vehicles the only vehicle for Shadow's gameplay that was taken out was Shadow's buggy, because I played through the whole game and I didn't see it at all. So maybe I just straight up missed it and just didn't care, or it is in the game and I'm just blind. I mean, not like I'll miss the buggy at all. I mean, it was just kind of... I'm being paranoid here because I remember I died to these towers back in the main game. Actually, though, the towers... I think the towers still kill you in one shot, but they don't fall randomly like they did back in 06. Well, technically, they didn't fall randomly in the main game either. You had to actively shoot them, but they don't do that. I don't think they fall. You don't have to worry about them falling as often. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to show off an Easter egg, but I'm at the wrong thing. There you go. Yeah, it's this one you want to go to. Hi, Chaos! Yeah, just a neat little Easter egg. Chaos is just chilling here. Hey, remember when I was relevant, guys? You know, and I didn't go down like a bitch like in Forces? Oh, man, that was such a stupid scene for Forces, but, what can you do? Yeah, because that's the other reason I don't like Forces, is that they just kind of threw Chaos away after, like, what, like 5 minutes into the game? But, who cares? Oh, I might want to mention this. So at the bottom of the screen, you may notice some weird, like, pixeling, or whatever that is, or whatever you want to call it. That's not anything with P-06 or my okay, technically it's my PC. For some reason, the window, I guess, wasn't full screen, and so it captured the bottom of my wallpaper that I have on my PC right now. So yeah, you can see the bottom few pixels of my wallpaper. Why, I don't know. It was probably something with OBS, but I just chose to leave it alone because, I mean, I could technically crop it out, but, you know, it's not really worth it for, like, a row or two of pixels, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. Yeah, but the other thing about the Shadows' enhanced state is that it drains your meter like a motherfucker. I mean, look at that shit. Yeah, and when I said it instantly kicks you out when you run out of meter, it instantly kicks you out. So if you were in the middle of an action set piece like that, yeah, don't. I mean, I don't think it will. I think there are probably countermeasures. You know, if, like, for example, Shadow was in the air doing this, and his meter ran out, it probably wouldn't do it until Shadow landed. I'm not sure. I haven't tested that, but just keep that in mind when you're when you're using that state. But, you know, since there's Chaos Spear, me using Chaos Spear, but it does target at least 3 enemies at once, which is it's really good in terms of that. Yeah, because back in 06, the Chaos Spear was utterly useless, if I'm remembering right. Like, I can't really recall a use for Chaos Spear besides just stunning the enemy. And it was probably done on purpose for the sake of balance, maybe, but at the same time, I don't know. Shadow does his epic animation, and oh god, I got scared there. And yes, you do. And if you finish the level while still in your chaos state, the result screen will keep it that way, which I do like. I think I get a lot of S's, but I die a lot throughout this, and the reasons for the deaths are mainly because of the simple fact that I'm reckless sometimes, or I just straight up lose track of myself because I'm just having too much fun. Actually, a couple of the deaths in this level, I still don't know what killed me, and because there is a hang gliding section in Crisis City that does kill me a couple times. And even I was confused on what killed me, at least for I think it was the second death. But, I don't know. I guess for relevancy, since we are playing as Shadow the Hedgehog for, in a Sonic game right now, I guess we can talk about Sonic Cross Shadow! Because at the time of this recording, more information has been revealed about Sonic Cross Shadow, or in terms of a release date, it's it's in October 25th, I want to say. I pre-ordered it. I already pre-ordered it because, of course, I did. Mainly because I wanted the Terios skin, which is Shadow's concept design. Jesus Christ, the bitrate. Which is Shadow's whatchamacallit. Which is Shadow's beta design. And then I think you also get the Sonic Adventure classic skin for Sonic. Or, you know, modern Sonic gets Sonic Adventure skin. And then I believe there's going to be another skin now with Sonic Jam, which was Sonic's I would say first 3D appearance, technically, I guess. But yeah, there's going to be a costume for the Sonic Jam model. But in terms of game, but we saw more gameplay of Sonic of Shadow's levels It also got revealed that Kingdom Valley is going to be appearing in Sonic Cross Shadow. I mean, it doesn't surprise me too much considering that Crisis City's in the base game of Generation, so it stands to reason that they would include Kingdom Valley or another iconic 06 level, and I would say Kingdom Valley is a pretty good choice considering that it was the one that was used in a lot of the marketing for 06 next to Crisis City. And plus, Kingdom Valley does hold a lot of relevance for Shadow since Mephiles was freed here. Since Mephiles was freed in Kingdom Valley. Also, technically sealed in Kingdom Valley because of the incident 10 years ago after Aquatic Base. But that's just... and I mean, I have a feeling there's going to be more than just Kingdom Valley and the Arc levels that we've seen. I think we also saw Radical Highway. You know, I mean, Shadow the Hedgehog, in terms of appearing in games, doesn't have a lot of history compared to Sonic, obviously. But, you know, he still has a lot of relevant levels that could really work for him. You know, I can see... probably, I think Rail Canyon appear. Sometimes when I pause right before I fall off the pit, that's just me going, why the fuck did I do that? But, it's all good. I mean, I think Rail Canyon from Sonic Heroes appeared in one of the trailers, but I didn't see much gameplay of it. It was just shadow grinding. Which, you know, that was Rail Canyon in a nutshell, so, yeah. You know, in terms of who else I want to appear, because clearly the Bio Lizard and Black Doom are appearing. But I do want to... I do wonder if Mephiles is going to make an appearance in some fashion. I heard that people were speculating that Infinite was going to be in the game, but that doesn't really make much sense. Considering that Generations takes place before Forces, and I doubt that they're going to reference stuff that happens after Generations, since... But, you know what? It's still possible. I don't know. You know, maybe Shadow got sent to the white space after Forces again. But I'm also curious to see if, like, maybe we'll be seeing other major... they also are doing, like, a prequel animation series for Sonic Cross Shadow, where, you know, it just kind of shows a little bit of about Shadow's life on the Ark with Maria and stuff like that, and what he was doing. And in the preview for it, fucking Emerald appears in it, the Gizoid from Sonic Battle. That was a surprising thing to see, because I think the last time a Gizoid has been seen in the context of Sonic is, I would have to say, Sonic Chronicles. Because I do remember that in Sonic Chronicles, there was a cutscene where Ix explained, you know, the history of the Echidnas and did mention the Gizoids. Yeah, what killed me there, by the way? I'm trying to figure that out, actually. I still had a lot of health left. I really don't know what killed me, but, The first one I can kind of assume I ran out of health or something, but... Like, what, did the thing get bored and just go, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Solve it yourself. I want to scratch my futon, huh? But, I mean, maybe Emerald will appear in the game. Maybe, I don't know. By the way, that's another thing I kind of noticed with this version, is the ragdolling with the Iblis monsters, especially the lizards. I don't know what's going on with that, but I kind of find it funny a little bit. Because it's really only the It's really only the lizards and not the worms or the birds. It's just the giant lizard, fire lizards. So I don't know what's going on with that. Well, but like there are times where, like, if they're near a wall or if you attack them in the right spot, they just fly off into random. Their body just flails around like a Batman Arkham villain. Like, I love good ragdoll physics. I just find it funny. Oh, there he goes. Oh no, that one that enemy has some problems too. Will I make it? Ow. You know what, though? With how bad 06 is, I gotta admit, it had some pretty cool set pieces. And I'm not talking just P-06. Like, there were some pretty cool set pieces in 06. You know, the Shadow grinding in front of the fire tornado was one of them. Sonic running away from the fire tornado is a pretty good one, too. But I just kind of wish the main game wasn't terrible and I could enjoy these set pieces. But now I can, thanks to P-06. But and also back to Sonic Cross Shadow. Another thing was leaked where there's apparently a second playable character in Shadow's campaign, and people are speculating what the second playable character is. I mean, everyone's immediate thought was a classic Shadow, but that really can't work considering that there hasn't really been a classic Shadow. You know, there's been Adventure 2 Shadow, that could be classified as classic Shadow. But the problem with that is that he was also 3D. There was no exclusively 2D Shadow that wasn't modern Shadow. So my immediate thought was, like, you know, my immediate thought was, personally, I thought that they were going to just put in Sonic again. Like, they were just going to put in modern Sonic, and he could go through the levels too if he wants to. But then I thought, no, that's stupid as hell, because they're probably designed around Shadow specifically. So, but then after I watched the preview for the animation, my new thought now is it's Emerald. Because Emerald does have the ability to learn everyone's abilities. That's like his signature thing. Like, he can copy everybody's abilities and use them. So I can see Emerald copying Shadow's abilities, and, you know, it's basically just a skin. But, you know, that's just my thought. I doubt it's true. We will find out when the second character gets revealed, or when the game comes out in October. I will most likely do a review of that right when it gets out too, because I did that with Frontiers. Might as well do it with every Sonic game as they come out. One thing I really love doing, though, with the Chaos Snap is seeing how... Oh, there he goes. Is seeing how many enemies I can defeat without touching the ground. Because you do get points for that. Oh, what a waste. Because you do get points based on how many enemies you defeat without touching the ground. For a certain amount of time. So, like, if it's like a few seconds, it's going to give you points after a while. But if you don't touch the ground for a good chunk of time, the game... P-06 gives you a lot of points for that. Like, I think I get a decent amount here. Or not. Oh, there it is. Oh, only Radical. I think they've been doing that since Adventure 2. They've been doing that since Adventure 2, so it's not really anything new. I think 06 didn't do it because it was almost impossible. Plus, the only character that kind of thing wouldn't work for is Silver, since his thing is throwing enemies. It's so weird being able to defeat enemies in one hit in 06, though. Like, for both Sonic and Shadow. I don't remember if Silver's powered up state lets you kill enemies in one hit. But it feels weird. Oh yeah, when I said you were invincible to everything but bottomless pits, I meant it. I mean, yeah, I guess it is just a pseudo Super Shadow, and that's what. But it just drains your meter like nothing else, as you can see. And this is kind of like the one place you don't want to be standing around in. I mean, I almost got hit by a meteor there. Yep. Ah, damn it. Damn, not here. I like how the great prompt popped up right when I died. It's like, good. It's like, I imagine Sonic's the one giving out the points. Like, good riddance. Good riddance. I don't have to hear about how he's the ultimate life form anymore. Even though he just got hit by fire. Ultimate life form my ass. Yeah, but the other thing is like, you know, Shadow is the combat-oriented one, so yeah, he has a lot of enemies in his stages. But it feels weird not having to do the whole mash A button to defeat enemies, because really, you really only have to do 2 or 3 hits for every enemy, even if they have a health bar. Like, I don't think you have to fully see Shadow do the fighting animation. You just like... I also just kind of like how Shadow poses kind of when he does the Chaos Snap and hits something. Like, he's just like, yeah, look at that. No, not really. It's like a minute. Shadow's just a drama queen. That or he doesn't understand how time works. It's kind of similar how Eggman doesn't know what the concept of beginning means. This is only the beginning. Don't get so excited, boys. Those were the easy ones. Alright, so this time we're not doing a treasure hunting sequence with Rouge. Technically, I guess. We are just doing the same exact thing we did with Knuckles and just breaking and hitting these lights to help Shadow get out of here. Yep, same exact thing as Sonic's version of Flame Core. Only thing is, you know, you're playing as Rouge instead. And yes, to all you smart players out there, you can't skip this. You have to do it now. You know, maybe P-06 isn't that good of a remake. I'm just kidding. This sequence, you know, this sequence isn't that bad in the original game. You know, you just have to be fast. Because I think in the original, you had like probably a good 30. You probably had like a good 10 seconds to get to every light before they went out. But I think in P-06 the timing is pretty generous. pretty on the generous side, I want to say. Like, it's not perfect, but it's... But I think it's also a matter of Chaos X knows that nobody gave a fuck about this puzzle and skipped it 9 times out of 10. Because I can't recall a time in the base 06 I did that puzzle legitimately. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head any time. Like, besides when I first played 06 as a kid, I probably did it legitimately. Probably took me forever because I didn't know how to do it. I just bump into that enemy. I think I got an S in this level. Despite my death. Yeah, I got an S. That's actually another thing I really like about Shadow's levels, is since Shadow's the combat-oriented hedgehog, kind of like Silver, I guess, is that, you know, you can die in a lot of his levels, but, you know, if you die at the right spots, you could just get your points back with combat alone. And you can get a good chunk of Shadow's S ranks just by enemy score. Farewell! Oh, he took out Let's Get Moving! That was such a good line. Why did he take it out? I mean, it was in I think it was in Kingdom Valley, I just didn't hear it. But Shadow screaming Let's Get Moving in this line, in this level, was so iconic to me. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I got blindsided there. Or I guess I could have just defeated the enemy since I had time to spare, but I just chose not to. Jesus Christ, what's with the bitrate? I could have sworn I recorded a decent quality this time. Da Vinci screwing me again. Hell, the original file looks better than this. Yeah, I almost got hit there again. Oh, and if you're wondering how to get that Shadows' enhanced state that I showed off a few times, you have to get all S ranks in Shadows' levels, and then I think the power-up is... I think it's either an aquatic base or Dusty Desert. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's in one of those two. Well, usually it's in the final level of that hedgehog, so I would probably say it's Dusty Desert. Then again, Sonic's Rainbow Gem was in Kingdom Valley, so... Oh, and yes, Shadows' motorcycle is here. This is the only time you use it. Obviously, but, you know, it controls much better than in 06, so... Hell, it controls much better than Shadow the Hedgehog! Because I remember back in Shadow's game, it controlled like ass. It was so slow. Yep, but that's it for Shadow's Radical Terrain. I think that's his fastest level. In P-06 anyway. In base 06, I don't remember how long it took me back in the main game. I don't even remember if I did it on my first try, like if I died or not. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, I mean, I don't remember much of the 06 Let's Play. I think I'm trying to repress all of it. I think the only thing I remember is just stealing a bunch of jokes from Johnny. Oh, and another thing that P-06 does is that they adds this like filter, this like black and white filter over. It's not black and white, but you know they add like this flashback like filter for Shadow and Silver's version of Aquatic Base. which I kind of like. You know, shows that it's in the past rather than, you know, having the exact same version as Sonic's. There we go.
There must be a switch for the door ahead. Leave this up to me.
I would talk about Silver, but we're going to be playing more of him later on, so don't worry. I mean, I show off a lot of Silver's abilities anyway because of, you know, I'm using him. I think I show off Silver's super state. Or, well, powered up mode. There you go. Yeah, so it does that. But it does have a lingering effect. What it is, I don't fucking know. I guess Google's my friend in this situation, wherever my fucking phone is. I guess I could just use my computer. Let's see here. Oh, shit. No, I don't want to do that. Right there. Okay. Let's see here. P-06 Silver abilities. I think I said I wasn't going to talk about Silver's abilities, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's do Sigil Awakening, because that's what it's called. I'm not seeing like a... I need like a description of what it does. There we go. TV tropes, thank you. So, let me see here. So, basically, well, Silver's not even on screen anymore, but I guess I could talk about it anyway. So Silver's powered up mode is he can fling enemies from a much farther distance, fly through the air using teleport dash, and passively deflect objects coming towards him. And I was right. Shadow's memory shard is in Dusty Desert. But yeah, that's basically Silver's powered up mode. It's called the Sigil of Awakening, and you get that at the end of Flame Core when you S rank it. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to show off the cutscene that happens when you do S rank it, when you do get the Sigil of Awakening. But that's fine. It's a pretty cool cutscene where, you know, at the end of Flame Core, when Silver destroys the thing of the giant orb that Iblis is using, that Iblis is being created in or whatever, you know, in the base game, Silver just kind of does his thing, and then he uses his psychokinesis on it, and then it just kind of and it just kind of is destroyed. Doesn't have like any major flare or anything like that. Ah, thought I could avoid it. Eh, it doesn't matter. I got an S rank on enemy score alone, I think. Maybe? Oh, no, I got close, though. If my time bonus wasn't so crap, and I didn't lose all my rings. Eh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I already got all the S ranks in this game anyway, so. By the way, fucking Silver's Tropical Jungle started to piss me off trying to get the S rank for that. I have never had that much problem. Like every other level in the game, I had no problem getting an S rank, whether it was off enemy score or time bonus or whatever. But goddamn, Silver's version of Tropical Jungle pissed me off. So, speaking of Tropical Jungle, we are now in Rouge's version. So I unintentionally skipped right over it because I forgot when Tropical Jungle happens for Rouge. Because I thought it was because I just, it's at the end of the list, so I was going to do it at the end, but then I remembered, no, wait, Rouge's Tropical Jungle happens during the Mephiles boss fight after Flame Core. So it took after Aquatic Base for me to realize it, so I said, you know what, while Shadow was screwing around in Aquatic Base, Rouge decided to go to Tropical Jungle for no reason to find Omega, since we don't have the Mephiles boss fight in this release. I'm not sure when the final release of P-06 will be. In fact, I don't even think the next release is going to be the final release yet. Like, because all Chaos X has left to do is implement end of the world, fix that, make it good, and the boss fights, Solaris, Egg Cerberus, both versions, Egg Genesis, all the boss fights in the game. So I'm very curious how that's gonna work out. Like there are some bosses I'm kind of curious how they're gonna work, especially characters like character battles like Silver versus Sonic and Shadow, or Shadow versus Silver and Sonic. Or well, no, Sonic and Shadow never fight, but how the Silver boss fight's gonna work, especially with Silver's newest abilities. Because, I mean, Silver is pretty overpowered, and it's going to be kind of weird to have to find a way to limit. He's going to have to find a way to limit him based on what he can and can't do. Like, obviously, he won't be able to use this. I doubt he'll be able to use the Sigil of Awakening. But, like, he would probably be able to still do, like, the whole, it's no use, take this, thing. But I'm very curious what else they could do with that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how Chaos X plans on approaching the Silver boss fights, but we'll find out. Ow. Yeah, I think I died of this. I really don't understand how that kills me. I guess it's I don't have any rings, it just kills me. And also, I guess it would make the second part of this level, of this section, almost impossible. So I guess killing me works, but it's just like, eh. Shadow landed on the ground. He could have been fine. Ultimate life form my ass. I like how it clearly flipped over. There we go. Yeah, but this time around, the hang gliding sections actually require that you put effort into the game. At least from what I've noticed. Because back in the base game, it was on rails for the most part. And it kind of is here. But in the base game, you could literally just sit there, not press a single button, and Shadow, and you would win anyway. So Omega has a bit of a hybrid thing going on here, where he has qualities of Gamma from Sonic Adventure, but he also has his abilities from Sonic Heroes. He has his Annihila Charge thing. You know, good for close range, not great for far range. Unfortunately, he doesn't say Annihila Charge every time. And another thing is Omega's flight has been nerfed. He can no longer do the infinite flying trick because his meter, he does have a meter now, and it limits how long you can fly. Which, you know, that sucks. Can't do the Omega, you can't skip through all of Wave Ocean and all that stuff, but it actually you know, again, this is still the definitive version of 06, because, you know, being able to skip a level shouldn't be because Omega's flight is unlimited. But if you hold the B button down when you want to use the Omega's laser, you can target multiple enemies at once. I think it's like up to 4. Maybe. I think he just targeted more than 4. Yeah, and they actually gave this cutscene, unlike the base game, where you just kind of ran around until Mephiles said his line. But now, they gave it a full-fledged cutscene. Kind of find that funny a little bit, but what can you do? I mean, it is much better. I mean, that's the other thing about this, is that, you know, with the in-game cutscenes that this game, that P-06 gives, it makes it a lot better than what 06 did, because, you know, it would just have random dialogue. You know, it kind of, 06 did have the, you know, Sonic Heroes thing of Sonic characters talking in the middle of levels, but it wasn't as often as Sonic Heroes. And, you know, usually they would talk about stuff that was relevant to the level. Like, earlier, like, I think earlier with Rouge, that was a cut line, but Rouge said something about wanting to come back to this level, coming back to Wave Ocean because of how nice it looks. Or, you know, in another example is in Silver's Dusty Desert, he would say, "Just you wait, Iblis Trigger," which, you know, that was him saying, like, I'm coming for you, but first I'm going to help this girl. But in Sonic Heroes, 9 times out of 10, the line they said was just something generic. Like, Tails would scream out, "I'm falling," or Knuckles would scream out, "What a wild ride," or something along those lines. It was just something that was completely generic and was probably repeated like 100 times. You know, yes, I make the joke about how Sonic points out the painfully obvious in Crisis City with that tornado's carrying a car, or the whole city's on fire. But, you know, at least that was more relevant to the level than Tails constantly screaming that he's falling or something. Or the occasional "oh my god" from Amy, which, yes, that was a very real line. that is a very real line from Amy in Heroes. Then again, that is nothing compared to the amount of times Shadow said "damn it" and has said "damn" in Shadow the Hedgehog, so. If you're wondering what I was looking for, I was a little confused by this because I remember this being a hovercraft sequence and not a platforming sequence. But I might be misremembering because I could have sworn the hover craft was available right from the start of this section. But maybe I was just wrong, and I got scared there because I died earlier. Unfortunately, I lost all my points, meaning that I won't be getting the S rank, probably. Yeah, there it is, right there. Yeah, because I could have sworn this was a lot earlier. Could have sworn it was back at the beach. But, hey, what can you do? But, hey, this works better. It's not like the platforming in a P-06 is bad. God damn orcas! No wonder Sonic hates you. Oh, and if you want a good sense of direction for the hoverboard sequences, Chaos X put those little pillars there to kind of guide you in a general direction. So if you just follow those, you should be able to find where you're going. The only exception I can immediately think of is in Dusty Desert, where you have to follow the pillars so you can get to Mephiles, but that's because you already are following pillars, so yeah. And speaking of Dusty's Desert, I also have a thing where sometimes the hovercraft just kind of fires off randomly into a random direction. I haven't died from it, because usually what I do is I immediately hold A to maintain my altitude to make sure I can correct myself. Right there. Well, that was more I gained a lot of speed and just kind of flew up. But there were times where, like, I swear it was just kind of random on when Shadow just decided, I'm just going to fly into the air for a second. Then again, that could also just be the physics engine for... I don't think he's using the Havoc engine, because that's not open source, I don't think. I don't think it was. I know he's using Unity, but Unity's physics engine is can kind of be wonky at times. And again, that's just like the thing with any physics engine, is that it can just... it's prone to have some weird quirks. I really just love, though, that without the cutscenes, there's just, like, no context behind anything. Because, like, throughout the entirety of Shadow's story, Mephiles was not an entity until, I want to say, Aquatic Base. But now he's just suddenly here. It's like it's just, like... it's just kind of funny. It's like, imagine someone playing this and like, who the fuck's Mephiles? But again, I mean, if you're playing P-06, you are most likely a Sonic fan who has played and suffered through 06 like I have. So, I mean, but it's just funny to imagine that this is someone's first exposure to 06 for some reason, and they're just sitting there like, who the fuck is Mephiles? Who the fuck's Mephiles? Who's this silver guy? What's going on here? Or just like you're playing 06 and you're skipping all the cutscenes. I wasn't aiming for the enemies, I was aiming for the item box because I'm a freaking klepto. It's like, I want the item! I want 20 rings! Give them to me! You know what? It might be my... oh shit. It might be my timeline resolution. I'll have to look at it. Who cares? I mean, this is just... I'm talking behind the scenes bullshit, but You know, I'm looking at the bitrate for the video right now, and it is fucking garbage. Like, what the hell is this? Like, there is noise all over the place whenever there's, like, the slightest movement, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. Because, like, even the video, the original file looks better than this. Like, I might have just rendered it wrong, and I'll have to fix it when I re-edit for putting my commentary back in, but we'll find out. Yeah, and you may have noticed that the HUD's different. I haven't mentioned that yet. There are settings to change, like, the HUD for that, you know, because there were, like, different types of HUDs for P-06, for 06. This is the E3 HUD. This was the one they used for the demonstration of, I think it was the demonstration of Kingdom Valley, or, well, whatever the E3 HUD was. But like, it's really like the only thing that there is, the only options you have for customizing this game is, like, you know, retail or E3. You know, those are your options. Pick one, and you can mix and match them, which is cool. You know, like, for example, if you like the like, if you like this version of the HUD, but you don't like the item box icons of the E3 build because they are kind of generic. You can use the retail item boxes. You know, it's just your preference, and that's nice. It doesn't change anything in terms of gameplay, it just looks nice. I don't like this HUD, though, because of the simple fact that the life counter, the life counter is just Sonic's head, but, you know, just a different color. You know, it makes sense, you know, Chaos X, you know, there's no asset for Shadow's head or Silver's head, so they just, you know, just stick with Sonic's head for now. And this wasn't even the final, this probably wasn't even going to be considered one of the final HUDs for 06 because of the simple fact that, you know, it was E3, it was E3, they were probably still workshopping the HUD. Oh, one thing I really like is that when you successfully do one of these pole things, Shadow strikes the Sonic Adventure 2 pose. Not the box art pose, but the one, like, one of his artwork renders, he strikes that pose. And like, future me could yeah, I think this is right here is where you get the light inhibitor, but I died and I don't care. Like, I thought this was progression. No, that's not progression. That is where you get Shadow's final upgrade. But I didn't, you know, if you got an S rank if you have an S rank in every level, including Rouge's Tropical Jungle and this level. So yeah, if you saved getting all the S ranks, you know, if this was your last S rank, you have to finish the level and then go back into it, which is kind of a, maybe, I don't know. But it does seem kind of annoying, if that's the case. But, what can you do? It's like one of those things that's like, yeah, well, you should have got an S rank on your first try. Just kidding. Get good. I'm kind of disappointed, though, that when Shadow goes through a rainbow ring, he doesn't hit his Sonic Heroes pose for going through rainbow rings. He just spins in the air. You know, it's cool and all, but, you know, I wanted him to do a Sonic Heroes pose where he dabs. And you can't change my mind that he's not dabbing. Like, he is legit, he's dabbing. Like, I know we left that back in 2018, but come on, bring it back. Was it 2018? When did people stop dabbing? I can't remember. But I remember dabbing being a huge craze for like 10 years, for like it felt like 16 years. It was still stupid either way, but I don't know why I'm activating this. We're at the end of the level. Especially in this section where the platforming, you know, there's platforming in this level, and I really don't want to be teleporting. Yeah, this is actually where I get scared, but you know what, unlike 06, you don't instantly teleport as if you just press the A button. I was trying to get that life. Not that I need it, but, you know, again, unlike, you know, it's not really much of a problem if you get a game over in P-06, but, you know, it's nice to see the counter go up. I also love the effect on the door. You know, I love that effect. You know, that, yes, clearly Mephiles is through that door. I really love that effect. You know, it's such a you know, that's the other thing that Chaos X added, is, like, a lot of environmental storytelling, is that, yeah, found Mephiles, he's over there. With the 2 creepy doors, with the creepy purple aura coming out of the door. You know, he also added that with Wave Ocean with Mephiles in the cage, and I think there was also the I think back in. Well, at least that's the main one I could think of. The other one I'm trying to think of another one that trying to remember off the top of my head. Crisis City, when Sonic jumps over the semi-truck, yeah, the tornado dissipates. I think Silver has one in Flame Core. At the end of Flame Core, but that's pretty obvious where I'm going with that. But that is the end of Shadows' gameplay in Sonic P-06. The next time we meet for Sonic P-06, because again, I'm only going to do this in between Let's Plays, and then, you know, because why not? I already did Sonic's, and I kind of feel like it would be fair to do at least do Shadow and Silver, and, you know, it's only fair. So the next time we meet for Sonic P-06, we will be doing Silver's, but that's going to be in between Let's Plays. So once I finish whatever Let's Play I'm doing next, I will most likely end up doing Silver's levels. And then, assuming I finish that before Chaos X releases the final build for P-06, which would feature the end of the world and the boss fights, I will do those. But I don't think he will. I don't know. You know, I know it takes, you know, these things take time. Trust me on that. So see you guys next time. Oh, excuse me. See you guys next time for whatever I do next, and take care.